exactly what happens. So we'll have to see what the plan ends up being for these guys. I talked with Callie about what top laners he might have wanted to play as well. He said he didn't like his Aurelia pick last time. He said he didn't really know what to play in the matchup.
It's true. He said he ran out of champions.
Yeah.
Was the biggest thing. Although, one of teammates' wins came with him on Aurelia. That
True.
was when they beat Team Solomon. So, not completely sold on that excuse. I will think, though, the teammate's going to have to be a little bit creative here. Only because Altec and Pobelter are so threatening. I'm really wondering what type of gambits they're going to play to get Calitrolls some extra farm while trying to shut down Pobelter and Altec. Because it feels a little bit like a 1 carry versus 2 carry team setup right now, which usually favors the team with multiple dudes.
Tends to be how math works out for this one.
Yeah.
Right now, one top lane ban does go out to Maokai. He said specifically it was that champion that gave him trouble. It said Maokai kind of strangles a lot of top lane versatility because if they go for the level 2 like Raptor kill and then TP in the lane, there's so much bully potential there. It's hard to go aggressive because you'll get ganked, hard to play passive because it'll sustain you. It really does go away from Calitrolls all the same. And so far, looks like everyone's kind of spent 1 ban per lane.
Yeah. A lot of stuff still up. Like Ahri,
Oh, yeah.
the champion that seems to win all the time. But Lysandra ends up getting first pick. Now, is that going to be a Slushie or a Calitrolls pick is going to be my question here. I'd imagine it's a Calitrolls pick, depending on what Winterfox plays.
Well, no matter what, it's going to have a fun time facing Kalista, I would think. They do take away one of the other targeted stuns with Annie. I think it's still a flex. I think teammate will take their time to figure out the rest of the matchups here. And the cool thing about blue side Lysandra is you get to flex it into either lane once the other team shows one of their solos, and it gives a nice advantage. Right now, Graves is the thought against Kalista. We've heard people say it's really good.
It's one of the best picks you can do against Kalista, only because he is the only AD carry that gets that armor magic resist bonus. And he bursts huge amounts of damage whenever Kalista comes into range to hit you. So it's very difficult for Kalista to be successful against a Fed Graves, unlike many other AD carries.
Very true. Kalista really with almost no poke to speak of in the laning phase, so she's got to be in counterattack range when anything does happen. Rek'Sai comes in for Porpoise Pops. So far, some really good pick potential, and I would say a decent amount of burst from teammate. If they do find something, it's likely to be a bad situation for Winterfox, and that's well, welcome to teammate. They like to team fight and burst things out. Interesting. Right away.
Ooh, all right.
Lee Sin Gnar.
Helios' Lee Sin is always very strong. Heavy vision control game, which fits in with the Annie stun as far as being able to burst things out. That'll be real interesting for Pobelter's last pick. I'd almost expect a LeBlanc, even though we haven't seen it yet, just with the vision control heavy team that Winterfox is already putting together.
Very true. Sightstone jungler.
Support stun.
Sentinels.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to play support Orgot here, guys.
He could absolutely do Jax.
Yeah, he played it against Impulse. And I think it was Impulse. I could be wrong, but I remember it was specifically a Jax versus
He played Malphite
Gnar.
against Impulse, but he did...
Oh, yeah. This would have been Coast then?
Yeah, you got it.
Played against Chris's Gnar.
In one of their victories.
And did very well. That was, yeah, one of their 2 wins. Dota looking at Morgana. I do, by the way, like black shielding a Jax. And this team has a decent amount of setup for Calitrolls. They think this is the matchup that he wants. Right? Very few top lane bans on either side, so you expect the champion pool is available for him. And twice now he says, yes, Jax is the champion I want to face Gnar with.
Yeah, and like we were saying with the first pick, Lysandra, that is one of those things that Calitrolls could have played had the matchup presented it, but he saw an even better matchup in the Jax, and Lysandra will be a easy transitional pick for the mid lane. And now the question will be whether that changes Pobelter's last pick. LeBlanc, now that there's potentially a big bruiser they're going to need a decent amount of sustained damage on, it's kind of tricky to burst down a Jax if he builds a little defensively.
True.
And he'll win an extended team fight. Ahri is still available as well. Just a more consistent damaging LeBlanc in a few senses.
Sure. I'm surprised to see Ahri go all 10 picks down. And actually, maybe they don't even pick it. I'm surprised.
Whoa. All right.
Okay, hold on. There's a chance it's Annie mid. I don't think it's that likely, though.
That is a very surprising pick to me. But it does offer Winterfox a few different avenues here. First off, it puts more of the carry potential onto Altec.
Sure.
Instead of them being a dual-pronged threat, they're just that one Callista Spear of Vengeance through the entire enemy team. The other thing is, it's assassination protection from Lysandra. Ahri against Lysandra is actually not that great. She starts dashing around. She gets enormous movement speed from her Q. No, is what Lysandra would say. Just press R onto the Ahri and stop that straight off. So Pobelter can prevent the burst with his ultimate, and he can also peel Jax a lot better. Something that Ahri wouldn't be able to do. So in the context of the team composition here for Winterfox, the Lulu does make a bit of sense. It just doesn't necessarily fit with Winterfox's overall style.
That's true. We'll have to see how that matches up. Lulu, Lee Sin, and Gnar all pretty anti-melee. I like the hug choices. Thanks, guys. I feel like we see different sort of greetings every time from the coaches. They all have their own style of what they want to do.
It's almost like every one of them is an individual.
That's interesting. I don't agree with you, Jack. Guys, remember to vote for the team you think will win this match. And, of course, tweet T8 win or WFX win. We'll be checking in shortly to see how the fan vote stands. A lot of engaged power from Team 8. Very peel heavy from Winterfox, but there are some picks available. Annie, Lee Sin, and Gnar able to make those plays.
I'm looking forward to this one only because Team 8 typically has been playing really close competitive games, and I love watching their almost unique take on League of Legends. It starts with Cali Trolls. They're the only team in the LCS to really employ a top lane carry strategy. And they listen so well. They're just not quite there yet. It's a unique and growing team that I love watching.
Just to speak to that a little bit. Well, of course, the teams are looking for their mid laners to carry. Slushy does see his role as more of a utility position. We talked about top lane carries, of course.
I support Cali when Cali plays very carry-oriented top laners, like Jax, Malphite, Irelia. And the way I do that is I play champions like Orianna, Lulu, where when he initiates, I can be right there and follow him and make sure he gets what he needs to do done.
Well, now we can support him with an extra kill onto mid lane with Lysandra. Oh boy, that was a big mess up there by Avalon. He wanted to be able to scout the position there, but he just didn't. Was it the binding that caught him straight out of the brush and then he just couldn't run away in time?
Pretty sure that was what happened. Of course, yeah, I was...
Cali Troll's down a flash, but so is Avalon. It'll make that lane a battlefield for the junglers if they end up laning against each other. But it's going to be a lane swap matchup, especially with Cali Trolls on Jax. It's going to be about trying to deny him farm.
Well, the interesting thing is, of course, a couple of slightly suboptimal ability starts. Lysandra starting with Ring of Frost for the lockdown. Jax starting with Counter-Strike is not super atypical, but he will lack mobility, of course, because of this. Still, teammate wants to invade. They're not missing too many summoners, they feel.
Such aggressive early play from them.
Oh, man.
I mean, this is how they try and jump ahead in a lane swap thing. Like, teammate definitely has a slightly different take on how to play League of Legends than the other teams in the NALCS here. Leaving Cali Trolls to solo the jungle on Jax with Counter-Strike, something you would see on a Maokai or a Sion, not as many times as a Jax. And now where do they go from here will be yet another question.
Well, so far a 2-on-1 lane down to the bottom. Actually make that kind of a 1v1 as Gnar is going to match Graves. Cali Trolls took down the Wolf Camp by himself. He will teleport to the top lane now afterwards with that level 2 and the Leap Strike. So don't expect to see dives work well there. Helios still level 1, by the way. And he might only get 1 buff for the first 5 minutes of this game. It
depends how aggressive his support Glebe will want to be. If I was Winterfox right now, I'd be sending Glebe in to ward blue buff, knowing that their own blue buff was invaded, but he's actually respecting Cali Trolls' Jax even more so, and just trying to zone him off of creeps. Okay, there he goes. Glebe's going to get the ward.
Yeah, and so far it looks like there's no real attempt by Porpoise to make that happen himself. They spot the Gromp, they spot the blue, out he goes. One interesting note that is a saving grace for Helios is, of course, this is one of the patches with smite charges. So he gets 2 smites on his first jungle clear pretty early to get his sort of second camp done and catch up a little bit.
And this is an atypical start for Team 8. They're putting Cali Trolls in the 1v2. which is going to deny him a pretty large amount of farm if Altec and Glebe end up playing this right. But now it's actually working out for him. Glebe is abandoning that lane. This is kind of what teammate wants, depending on how well Altec can deny Jax here. That doesn't look too great to start.
Yeah, Maple taking a little bit of harass there, but Avalon, of course, clearly able to pick up golden XP under this turret. 13 CS on the Gnar. Keep in mind, Jax started with an extra 3 from the Wolf camp.
So he's gotten 2 CS in.
Yeah.
Literally just getting the experience, save for 2 creeps.
This is a player who had, last time we saw, built 2 offensive items on Jax. If he's going to have gold income like this, he'll never be durable in a team fight. And he's also not winning the farm game against his opposite member of Gnar, so even duels will be poor for him.
I'm a little surprised that they're not sending up Dodo to this lane to aid Cali Trolls. It would definitely push Altec back. He's playing so aggressively.
Speaking of aggressively, both junglers now on this side of the map. Helios, the ward over the wall. Porpoise knows he's around. Wards him. Nice. And Helios knows, by the way, that Porpoise is there, especially now.
Yeah, after he reveals him, he knows he's there. And of course, because the ward was placed right in his face.
It looks like pressure alleviating just slightly, as you talked about. It is the 2-on-2 lane in the bottom. Calitrol has to know a Lee Sin is around to this side of the map, though. Ooh, Slushi, nice aggression. Pobelter flashed away, gets met there by Porpoise, and that is now 2 kills to teammate Pobelter. Drop it.
And this is so great for teammate because the lanes are actually matched up in a way that should favor Winterfox, but teammate is winning those lanes. Pobelter should be the one dominating that mid lane matchup, but he has to lane against a double Doran's Ring Lissandra because of First Blood, and then he is the victim of the first gank. Not to mention, the bottom lane here for Maple Street is getting to lane against a Gnar, a top laner, not even an AD carry. So the matchups are really falling in a strange way.
Yeah, the only real downside is Calitrol's losing farm, but you know, whatever. Life is pretty good for teammate here. 1,400 gold lead. And Winterfox waiting for that Altec farm to kick on in. 44 CS, he's bullying out Calitrol's. That is going well. But look at this, Cali managed to wait until roughly his teleport comes back up. That's up in 20 seconds. And he can get back to a lane and try to farm again.
Hito's going to have to play a lot of catch-up here against Porpoise's Rek'Sai, who is off to a really good start. I mean, Helios just hit level 4, whereas Porpoise is 5.5 already. Not to mention an earlier upgrade to his jungle item and more potential ward coverage if you can go and get some.
With the turret down, Porpoise managing to outmaneuver Helios around the map. There's another good ward as well. Helios, I think, yeah, he pinged it. He knew it got spotted.
He's probably going to go and use his...
He's waiting till Rek'Sai goes away.
He wants to be able to clear this safely.
Okay. Good ward kill. Trinket comes down. Life is safe. Slushi holding equal, though. Pobelter, despite facing a first-blooded mid laner, despite getting ganked early on, splits the lane evenly. But again, it's just Altec. How well can you do in team fights, and what else is teammate going to do with their heavy coordination? The laning space is supposed to be Winterfox's advantage.
Pretty much everything is in the Altec basket now. After the first blood that got put onto Avalon, and after Pobelter has been set back a little in the early laning phase, which makes it very unlikely that he can dominate Slushi here in the mid lane, means Altec's got to kill everybody. Pretty much everybody in team fights with the help of Nanny stun and just some Lulu shielding. It's going to be a big uphill battle for Winterfox.
Yeah. You've got point-and-click stun from Lissandra and follow-up from Jax. This is not a comp I want to play Kalista against, by the way.
It's one of the dangers of picking Kalista so early. The strangest thing is they picked it straight into Lissandra.
Right.
One of the things that is primarily good against Kalista. When we were discussing Kalista in the North American LCS, we were thinking it's one of those things you ban, but don't pick early, only because if a Kalista is picked early, it's easier for a team to pick Assassinators or point-and-click stuns or great attack speed slowers, because there are things that can really attack Kalista's kit from a theoretical perspective. I was actually watching an LPL game last night, and world champion Imp was obviously in China playing Kalista against a Vi, Rumble, and Fizz.
Ooh, that is
and
not
every
good.
fight, Vi would just press alt on Rumble would lay the ult down on Imp, and he would die. And they're like, people were saying, I don't really like Imp's Callista. It's not that great. Well, it's because he didn't have anything to do. He was if he wants to do damage to anyone in that team, he's getting CC'd or killed. So there are things you can do against that seemingly rigged champion.
First round pick on Annie, not helping to defend him, but looks like Pobelter going to get jumped on. There's the point and click R. A lot of damage coming in here. Calitroll's helping him back on out because in comes Avalon. Now, is it going to be enough from Gnar? Most of the rage bar is filled. He's still chasing, but down to 400 health. Hyper gets triggered. Mega Gnar does not land the ulti. Calitroll flashes out, but there's the re-engage. Porpoise Pops goes in. Avalon flashes out. Pobelter stuck in the team. A kill for Dodo. Wait, and now Glebe also in a bad spot. Altec pulls him to safety. He pushes himself back in. It's the re-engage from Winterfox. Calitroll gets out. Helios trades kills back and forth. Both junglers down now, but teammate, that's a 2-for-1 trade.
And all the while, Maple Street's pushing top lane by himself. Things are going terribly for Winterfox right now. They suffer casualties. They only get 1 kill on the backside, and they lose a turret in the top lane.
Absolute catastrophe here so far. 0-0-1 for Altec, the only guy who's going to deal damage in late game team fights, and he's got no items yet. Maple Street, stack and attack damage, BF sword pickaxe. He crushes turrets pretty fast here. And that's going to be a whole bunch of wave clear coming from him soon.
And just looking at the way this fight panned out, Calitrolls really heavily beat Avalon to the spot here, and Avalon doesn't land any of his priority abilities, which is a big knock against their chances here. He tried to get the Gnar. There's actually an anti-stun that got Calitroll before the flash. The big Gnar didn't hit him. And then because of nice bindings by Dodo, they could collapse in. Another thing that is a big factor here is the gold lead, right? That's a level 4 Annie, not necessarily doing that much. Helios is still 2 levels below the opponent jungler, and it's just going from bad to worse. No flash on Glebe, easy pickings in the mid lane.
Well, Maple Street just smoked the guy. Down he goes. Mid lane outer going to fall. That's all 3 in teammates' favor. 5,000 gold lead at 10 minutes 40 seconds. Massive advantage for teammate here.
And it's particularly impressive because they are pretty much doing this without Calitrolls. It is Slushy, Porpoise that are making the plays on this one, and Dodo with some nice roams on Morgana. Yes, Calitrolls is there sometimes, but that is 1 assist out of 5 kills and an underfarmed Jax in a very successful teammate team right now.
We might have this game all backwards, guys. Calitroll's not required for teammates. The rest of the team doing the heavy lifting here. He will TP up at the top lane and match Avalon. Rek'Sai, not just by the Gromp camp, but maybe turn something around here. Helios secures the Scuttler, and okay, maybe not any heavy aggression just yet. Blue Whip coming up, teammate doing standard bookkeeping. All is well so far.
It's important for teammate to keep the pressure up as well. Altec wants to just freeze and farm on Callista. He doesn't want to put himself into threat range for a Lissandra. And honestly, after the result of that clash in the mid lane, Winterfox doesn't want fights whatsoever.
No.
It is definitely on teammate now that they've taken 3 turrets down. It's kind of the magic number for when you can take control of the enemy jungle, get some deep wards, and stop Winterfox from being able to farm. That's really where teammate will find victory here.
We'll see if they can do that right now, because so far, this Callista in the bot lane is farming. She's about 500 gold short of Hurricane. Has enough for the dagger and the recurve bow when Altec recalls. The combined is, I think, 650. And Maple Street, though, squaring off. And he, of course, did not go for the Avarice Blade build, one that we've been seeing a couple of people do. The extra 25 attack damage, though, will give him better bully potential. And if you're looking for mid-game power, it is the better choice here. And that seems to be what teammate are going to be able to capitalize on.
Absolutely. Even though teammate actually does have a really strong late game composition with Jack Cassandra, the mid game is where they want to make the biggest moves right now. Since they did get such a big early game lead, the option is open for them to try and crush Winterfox in the mid game.
Oh, wow. Heads up by Helios. Expected the brush check. Dodo's W doesn't hit him, doesn't gain any gold, doesn't know Helios is there. But they're still playing passively. The fact that he cast it means he's afraid.
Helios will need a really good catch here.
And he has to miss Black Shield.
Flash for kick, but he'd have to get that off before Dodo can Black Shield the right target if he wants to kick someone backwards.
Okay, he's going to try. The flash comes in. No shield for Maple. In comes Callista. In comes the Graves Burst. Dodo stays alive. Pops the ult for Glebe Glarbu, and that is going to be
no.
the save from Altec. That was sweet. Porpoise not going to get much done here, but Winterfox is running. Of course, their outer turret's dead. Nothing gained.
Yikes. So Helios actually did manage to get a kick into a wall, but it also went to show us how abysmally far behind they are. Maple Street used a couple of spells with that BF Sword pickaxe build and would have blown up Glebe if not for the smart timing. And now they're down spells. Slushy just goes.
Oh man, nicely done. The ward control helping to secure this. And Teammate just in the enemy jungle. No one's here to stop them at all. 6-1 in kills. Blue buff is theirs. Slushy's gonna get that one. Look at that. Continued great mid-game performance by Teammate. Now what I will say is there was a game similar to this one when they faced Counterlogic Gaming, where they had to win early. They got the 3 outer turrets early on, but then things stopped going well for them. Back in week 1. Teammate.
Okay.
And basically the thought there is, okay, they've had some rough mid-games when they had leads before, where they were unable to make further good moves. Question is that better now, right?
6,000 gold at 14 minutes is more than a pretty good mid-game.
Yeah. It's just more about capitalizing and pushing further.
Yep. I mean, all the while, Cali Trolls have been able to catch up and farm, as well as Avalon. Those guys have kind of been abandoned by the rest of the map, and that's going to be Cali Trolls coming into his own. I mean, if he can get his Trinity Force sooner rather than later, it will mean even more pain. Although he's got to be careful here. Glebe with a nice stun.
Wow, over-aggression there. Ignite comes in, the dodge. Not going to be enough. Pobelter gets the kill credit.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Pobelter needs to become a secondary threat, as well as serviceable protection for Altec, who is just really overstaying in those lanes. I mean, he's been on those same items forever. He's actually on 2,500 gold right now. He's going to have to item up as quickly as possible. I mean, I don't even really think Winterfox can contest this next dragon. They just have to try and hold these middle tier turrets as long as possible.
Yeah, it would likely require severe misplay by Teammate for them to lose a team fight here. 5,000 gold lead did get bridged somewhat here by Winterfox, but watch out. Almost walks right onto Teammate, gets away though. And as the dragon is 1 minute away from spawning, we take stock of the map. Avalon managed to push top lane out very well. It's going to take some time for Cali Trolls to equalize that, but he's got teleport. Porpoise able to steal a red buff all the same, and Helios is still losing out on the map. Maple IE and almost Brutalizer as well means he's pretty much ready to go for that next battle.
He is much stronger than Altec. While the Hurricane is nice for Callista, I feel like it's almost a laning item early on in the game.
Yeah, in a way
and
it
the
is.
lanes aren't a thing right now. Half the time Altec's going to want to be freezing anyway, and now he can't because of his Hurricane. I usually avoid hearkening back to champion select in games that are so one-sided, but for Winterfox, this Lulu just seems so out of character for Pobelter. When a champion as strong as Ahri is up, especially
On a
since
player
Ahri,
like Pobelter.
on a player like Pobelter, he is a solo queue god for the most part. And Ahri is a champion that he's played a ton of in solo queue, and she is stronger than she has ever been. Yet he decides not to pick it in a team where they are in dire need of a secondary carry with Gnar top lane and a supportive Vision-style jungler. But he's gone with this Lulu anyway, and it's just not a champion Pobelter can express his ability on.
And all that means is Winterfox relying on Teammates' mistakes. Their kills have been Cali Trolls diving into 1v2, and a mid lane trade that went Teammates' favor. No real big glimmers for Winterfox just yet. Porpoise walks away from Annie safely. Wave clear coming in does keep minion scores somewhat close. Teammate does hold some small lead here, but it's not like Cloud9 out of proportion. Also keep in mind, tier 2 turrets have still not fallen yet.
True. Teammate was close in that mid lane until Cali Trolls overcommitted and gave a kill back to Pobelter. As you can see, the ward line still hasn't really crept into the spaces it needs to be. Teammate needs to make some committed engagements there to get ward control, but that will actually be at the cost of some of their lanes. No one is stopping Altec from farming in the side lanes, which is actually pretty critical. The whole reason that Teammate needs to get control of the jungle is so they can threaten Altec when he pushes out to farm. But if they don't even have vision in the first place, Altec's going to be able to continue to trade farm. And that 4,000 gold lead would dwindle over time to be a lower and lower percentage advantage.
And right now it seems like their choice on that matter is Calitrils. Altec pushed down the bot lane.
Yeah.
Calitrils showed up, albeit late. He had to run across the entire map, but he seems to be the man pegged for that job.
They're almost trading farm for Calitrils. I mean, this is a guy who was at 40 CS when the 80 carries were at 100. Now he's at 120 himself. He has been on a non-stop farming mission, but that has a cost for Teammate of them not prioritizing other things like vision control or shutting down opponent farm. But now they do have a Jax that can hit shows like this.
And everyone's used to this sound, guys. Flap, flap, flap. Turret goes down. Now Altec, though, on a bit of a chase. Ren's early for the slow. Slushy's gonna find Glebe. The ulti comes in as well. Bam! Whoa! Maple Street takes him out in the forest.
Poor Glebe. He was just trying to help out his 80 carry, and he gets all the ultimates used on him.
Another binding and puddle for this. Altec is trying to make plays, but he's got no gold right now, so nothing happening there. Now goes teammate with the turret and another kill.
That's it. I mean, Maple Street even, because of the 2 kills and because of his team's immense amount of map pressure, he's actually 2,000 gold ahead of Altec's Kalista.
Jeez.
Just on his own. 7,500 gold on Graves, 7,800 on Slushy. These are the kind of numbers that make this game not very close, unless teammate makes a big mistake.
Well, Porpoise Pops wants Altec, misses the Q, smites him though, flash on Burrow, catches. Flash away from Altec, Porpoise forced to run away, but there's the Gnar in for Calitrils. He's pretty low though, trying to get some of his tank stats onto this one. Porpoise forced to run away now as well. No engage from Slushy, ult comes just back up from cooldown. No summoners and Calitrils now.
Glebe actually made a really nice play there. He stunned Calitrils, I believe, before. They were going to try and combo the flash from Porpoise with a stun from Calitrils and lock down Altec before he could do anything. They prevented that initiation. They also threatened Calitrils' life afterwards, which prompted the entire team to fall away. So a stall move nonetheless.
Yeah, and hey, buying time for Winterfox is something they desperately need to do. They certainly can't win team fights yet, so
yeah,
try another day.
It's a strange thing here. The Lysandra Jax with Graves, who honestly scales decently well for 80 carries, not like super hyper carry, but throughout most of the mid game up until 40 minutes or so, he's a huge threat. The late game, team composition-wise, is still in the favor of Team 8.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that Winterfox doesn't want to stall, because they still need to hit item breakpoints and get power spikes before they can even think of making plays. That's how far behind Winterfox really is.
Well, Altec can afford a BF sword now, though you'd expect him to wait for the full Bloodthirst before anything big happens, so that's 1,100 gold away. A good 4 minutes probably for the Winterfox 80 carry to get that amount of money. Ward control, the name of the game for Team 8. They're trying to get this pushed deeper and deeper now that Baron has spawned to the map a minute 45 ago. This buff not likely to be contested in any real way, and in fact it's not. Porpoise grabs that for himself. But Altec not being answered in the bottom lane means, look, there's these glimmers of hope that are happening. They just keep applying pressure somewhere on the map that teammates seem to be unable to answer all of.
Yeah. I can only imagine teammates thinking this is okay because, well, they have a Lysandra. So no matter how much gold they let Altec split pushing get, it's going to be one R button press from Lysandra away from not mattering, I think is the idea teammates going with right now. That being said, though, considering their 6,000 gold lead they had at 14 minutes, it's still a 6,000 gold lead 8 minutes later, and they're not really closing this game as well as they could be.
Helios, ooh, whoa, nearly gets bound. That was close. But it's an ult down for the Lee Sin. Graves pushes out the bot lane. But the thing is, all teammates seem to be able to do is reset the waves. They're not doing any dedicated sieging. They don't look for any major dives. They're not getting kills on buffs. Winterfox are seeding these mid-power objectives. The red buff goes away, the blue buff goes away, the dragon goes away, but nothing major has been gained by Team 8 in a very long time.
There's a chance Team 8 is playing the long con here and hoping for around the 35-minute mark they could get their 5th dragon. If they're taking it on respawn, that's not super late into the game, as long as they can maintain a good level of control over this. You can see they're already grouping around the dragon area here. See how Winterfox plays it back, knowing Jax just was in base.
Both top laners would be required to use teleport here. Avalon is running down right now. Mega Gnar will run out. Teammate can't possibly seed this way. They have to know there's a gigantic lead for them. 6,000 gold. But right now, they're giving a lot of space to Winterfox. They've allowed these guys to take the Scuttler, to get some wards in the river. Teammates say, you know what? Look at Dragon. We want the mid lane. Slushy forces back Avalon. Winterfox playing catch-up here.
I mean, a fight is better than anything else for Team 8 at this point, as long as they can get the right choke point. I mean, they may even be threatening
They've
this
got the inside track on mid. Yeah, like there's no one here.
This was a nice move. A bait and switch. Everyone was expecting them to go for the Dragon, and now they get a fight in the base of Winterfox, most likely.
So nice there by teammate. Now, will they stay for the inhibitor? They go for the fight. No, it's Altec getting stunned. The burst comes across. Altec gets saved for a time, but not long enough. 1 for 0. And look at that. Immediately, Winterfox routed, forced back, a binding. The ulti on Slushy. Looks like he will escape. Inhibitor, kill, 2 turrets. A nice knockup, though. This could be more picked up. The big Gnar comes across. Is it enough? Porpoise Pod's very low. Pobelter gets 1. They trade back 2 more kills from Team 8. This is a good fight for the blue side. Up inside the base, out goes Winterfox.
Avalon's Gnar ultimate was so close to hitting walls, but it just didn't stun anybody. It got the damage out, but it was not enough to stop the Team 8 onslaught. And that was really what Team 8 needed to break the doors open in this game. Baiting the fight around this inhibitor is exactly what they needed, and then because Winterfox was funneling in from the backside, Altec does not position properly. And when Winterfox has spent the last 15 minutes trying to secure farm for you and has built a team composition completely around protecting Kalista, please don't be a Kalista in front of the enemy team's 5 players with no backup. The amount of damage that Winterfox was actually able to do to teammate after Altec got completely blown up would have shown a semblance of hope if there's a Hurricane Kalista in the backside that whole fight, but there just was not. And now the game may be completely out of hand with 3 dragons and an inhibitor on the side.
And definitely not looking like a great thing for Winterfox right now. Down 9,000 gold, 25 minutes in. A nearly insurmountable lead here as teammate made a really good play around that dragon. They gave up control only to out-rotate the other guys. Really nice stuff here. Now they are setting up for Baron as their next point of ingress, since the middle inhibitor being dead will create a lot of extra pressure for them. Calitro's managed to save his teleport the whole time. That allows him to split push bottom. And he can go right up to the inhibitor doing so.
A lot of stuff has gone right for Team 8. This game must feel really good for them. You know, after getting a little bit steamrolled by Cloud9 yesterday, Calitro's not really getting the picks he wanted, but more importantly, the rest of the Team 8 team really stepping up here. I mean, Maple Street, he fell under some much-deserved criticism for his Sivir build, I would say. Much better performance here on Graves. This is not a Baron that Winterfox can realistically contest, but they could hope for a steal.
Oh no, bind, burst comes out, they go right in for the kill. Down goes Helios, Altec chased out by Porpoise, but it's Kalista, guys, be careful. Glebe will also fall. In comes Calitro's with a flash, finds the 3rd kill of the fight. In they go, flash and knock up on Avalon and Pobelter. 5 versus 2, but Gnar taking a lot of damage from this one. He will finally go down 4-0 teammate.
Teammate is already down the mid lane inhibitor, but we're so early into the game, you can see the death timers are 10 seconds or so left on Helios, so they might just turn right back to this Baron and try and finish that one off, asserting their dominance on the map.
Oh man, they absolutely are. Good job to jump over the wall, good call to say, let's stop on Baron, let's take the kills off. They get a 4 for 0, and the Baron all the same. We keep seeing teams try to defend the Baron attempt. Very rarely does it go well.
Definitely seems that way. I mean, this time Helios was just trying to get in position for a steal. Everybody flies over the wall. Slushy easily locking down the stun. And then Calitro's, who everyone thought was split pushing right there, walked over. There wasn't even a teleport burn.
Oh, wow.
To get into that position. Gets a stun on the Altec. Just becoming Altec's worst nightmare this game.
You can see some of the wards in there. That ward has been there for 2.5 minutes. That was in that top brush at the end of that clip there. This was set up so long ago by Team 8. And they capitalized so darned well. 12,000 gold lead. No signs of remorse this game whatsoever.
And now because they didn't even have to burn teleport, and the middle inhibitor is down, they can push the top lane as 4 with Baron, while Calitrolls pushes the bottom lane with Baron minions. This could be a fast road to 3 inhibitors if they do it right.
Looks like top tier 2 is going to be seeded entirely. Winterfox bowing out of that one. Now the inhibitor going to be targeted. And I do like this, by the way, using Baron buff to split push to create more Baron buffed minion waves. When you have 5 guys defending, you can kill a Baron wave pretty easily. When you start splitting the enemy team up, it's much harder to do. Like, Gnar's not going to kill Baron buffed melee minions. And it allows you to do so much more. There's Jax. There's the minions. They're not dying.
Yep, Cali trolls. I mean, look at that turret down there. It's going.
Yep.
Easy.
There goes. Ooh, bind on Pobelter. And the flash engage for Glebe. He catches a little bit, but there's no follow-up. He went by himself, and no one even moved forward off that.
Winterfox is out of options. Completely out of options. They would want to dive, but they no longer have a flash to do so with the initiation. They're either all going to die or their base is just going to die.
Well, Gunblade Cali Trolls, the only Jax picks or bans in the NALCS. Because of him, the kick, though, hits 2. Maple Street caught out exhausted, but they force Glebe back. In goes Lysandra. Wow! 2 kills picked up already. Winterfox going to try to pick up the scraps, but it looks like they will not be able to do so. 3 inhibitors now dead. And in comes one last wave. They look for the Nexus. 30-second respawn timers now. There goes Nexus turret number 1. Avalon off on the side, not doing nearly enough damage. The big carries of Winterfox are dead. The champions themselves going to be joining them here, but Slushy is actually getting out. Dodo's going to fall. No, he Sonya's himself. The base doing more damage than the champions of Winterfox themselves. Nexus now available. Should be the game end. 30 minutes and 10 seconds. Controlled from start to finish. Team 8 end the week 3-3.
And who expected that? An 18-kill-to-3 teammate domination over Winterfox right there. I mean, that's the Team 8 that beat TSM in week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Team 8 starting to reach some of their potential they've set for themselves. And you talked about Porpoise being quoted out of context saying his lanes were losing. That's a 5-0-10 Lysandra by the end of the game, who was winning the lane thanks to some ganks from Porpoise himself. And Maple Street, who in the weird lane swapping world got to lane against Anar and also put up great CS numbers himself.
Yeah.
That's the type of game Team 8 wants and needs to play to be successful in the LCS. Non-standard lane matchups.
Yeah.
Well-coached and strategized early games. And then, with that, they use their team coordination to crush the opposition.
And I do want to talk about that non-standard lane, because I do agree with you. It was such a big point here to get around all the advantages that you expected Winterfox to have. The bot lane was Maple Dodo up against Glebe and Avalon, and they just pushed 24/7. There was no threat on them from Gnar Annie, and they killed the outer turret by themselves in a 2-on-2 matchup. Meanwhile, Cali Trolls faces Altec, and Jax is so scary 1v1, Altec has no pressure there. Denies some CS, doesn't hit the turret at all, has to be afraid of Rek'Sai ganks. He actually pulled Helios into his lane to no avail.
Yeah.
Porpoise just went mid and killed the guy.
That's the story of the game. Teammate, so happy after that one. Maple Street in his second stint in the LCS. This one, on pace to go much better than his Velocity stint earlier.
Yeah.
Already 3 wins, 6 games in, as opposed to, what was it, 28 games in that they got 3 wins on.
Was it only
Velocity?
3 wins for Velocity?
It was 3 or 4. They did not have a good
Wow.
28-game split. So teammate, high potential here. This is what people have been wanting to see all throughout. I mean, you cast them a ton in the Challenger scene.
Yeah.
And even in the Challenger scene, they seem to kind of choke on the big
They were
stage.
incredibly inconsistent.
But exactly. And we're kind of seeing the same thing here in the NALCS. They got steamrolled by Cloud9, but they've destroyed TSM. They've now destroyed Winterfox. They look shaky against Impulse.
Right.
Just some weird stuff coming out of these guys. But when the chips fall properly for them, they look great.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned